Have you ever tried to do everything right? You choose the low-fat milk, the whole grain bread, the fresh fruits and vegetables, and you honestly believe you're protecting your body. Yet one day, you sit in your doctor's office staring at lab results you never expected to see, and your creatinine is creeping higher again. If that moment felt confusing, frightening, or even unfair, you are far from alone. Millions of older Americans are quietly walking down the same path without realizing the danger building inside them. Because here is the part no one warns you about. Some of the foods we've been told are healthy our entire lives, the very foods we trusted as children, as parents, as grandparents, can turn into silent threats as our kidneys age. And the scariest part is that the damage doesn't announce itself with pain or dramatic symptoms. It whispers, it hides, it waits. Until one morning you wake up more tired than usual, or your ankles look a little puffier, or that blood test shows just one more tick upward. By the time most people notice, the kidneys have already been struggling in the dark for years. But let me reassure you, this is not the part where your story ends. Because once you understand why these changes happen, you can finally take back control. I'm Dr. Richard Hale, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 5 everyday foods that quietly raise creatinine and strain your kidneys even when you think you're eating clean, and then show you 4 powerful foods that can naturally lower inflammation, support filtration, and help protect your kidneys for years to come. And as you listen, you'll notice something surprising. The real solution was never complicated. It was simply hidden. But today we're bringing it into the light, and this knowledge may be the very turning point your health has been waiting for. The first hidden culprit looks innocent, familiar, and comforting. For decades, we were told that milk and dairy were the foundation of strong bones and healthy aging. But as our kidneys grow older, that same glass of milk can quietly turn into a daily overload your body can no longer handle. I've seen this play out countless times, but one patient's story still sticks with me. Her name was Helen, 67 years old, disciplined, responsible, the kind of woman who followed every rule her doctors ever gave her. Every morning she started her day with oatmeal and a tall glass of milk because she believed she was doing everything right. Yet her creatinine kept rising, and she looked at me one morning with the kind of confusion that hurts to witness. "Dr. Hale, how I've been drinking milk for my bones all my life." And that's when I explained the part no one ever told her. When kidney function slows with age, your body can't clear phosphorus and potassium the way it used to. Milk is loaded with both. What used to nourish now becomes a burden. Studies back this up. A massive British medical journal study following over 61,000 women found that drinking 3 or more glasses of milk a day nearly doubled the risk of death and increased hip fractures by 60%. Every additional glass raised mortality by around 15%. That's not internet fear-mongering, that's data. But here's the part most people miss: you don't have to quit dairy forever. You simply need moderation, smarter choices, and awareness of your kidney stage. And just when you think the danger stops with milk, it doesn't. Because knowing this alone isn't enough, the next healthy food looks even safer. Yet its hidden impact on your kidneys is far more surprising. And if milk was the gentle thief, then whole grains are the clever trickster, the one food Americans reach for when they're trying to eat clean yet never realize how heavily it can weigh on aging kidneys. The shift sounds simple: swap white bread for whole wheat, white rice for brown rice. It feels responsible. It feels healthy. It feels like progress. And that's exactly why so many people fall into the trap without ever questioning it. I remember Thomas, 65, retired, energetic, determined to turn his health around. He proudly told me he had switched everything to brown, believing he finally cracked the code to healthy eating. But his creatinine kept rising. He stared at his results and whispered, "Dr. Hale, this makes no sense." And that's when I explained the part most food labels never reveal. The outer bran layer, the part that makes whole grains whole, is packed with phosphorus. Healthy kidneys can handle it. Aging kidneys cannot. That mineral builds up in the blood and forces the body to pull calcium from bones and deposit it into arteries, slowly hardening them from the inside out. The numbers are shocking. One slice of whole wheat bread has around 57 milligrams of phosphorus. White bread, about 25. Brown rice contains over 160 milligrams, while white rice barely reaches 70. And it gets worse, phosphate additives, anything ending in phos, are absorbed at nearly 100%, placing enormous stress on the kidneys. But here's the part that brings relief. You don't have to abandon grains entirely. You just need portion control, label awareness, and smart pairing with low phosphorus proteins. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because the next healthy staple doesn't just strain your kidneys, it launches a full-scale assault that surprises almost everyone. And if whole grains slowly wear down the kidneys, red meat is the one that doesn't whisper at all. It attacks from every direction. Most people see steak, burgers, or roast beef as symbols of strength, energy in a good meal. But inside the kidneys of an aging adult, red meat behaves very differently. It's not about calories. It's not about protein. It's about the chemical storm that follows every bite. I'll never forget Mark, a 70-year-old former construction worker who sat across from me, frustrated and exhausted. "Dr. Hale," he said, "I cut sugar, I quit drinking, I only eat good protein, steak, eggs, red meat, and I feel worse." His creatinine was climbing, his energy dropping month after month. When we dug deeper, the answer became painfully clear. Red meat was launching a three-front war inside his kidneys. First, the acid load. Red meat breaks down into acidic compounds that aging kidneys can't neutralize fast enough. Second, inflammatory toxins like TMAO, produced when gut bacteria digest meat proteins, seep into the bloodstream and inflame delicate filtering tissue. And third, the phosphorus and purines increase uric acid-forming microscopic crystals that damage the filters from within. The research is undeniable. A 15-year study from Singapore, following over 60,000 adults, found that those who consumed the most red meat had a 40% higher risk of developing end-stage kidney failure. Every additional 100 grams per day increased chronic kidney disease risk by 34%. The good news is powerful. Swapping just one serving of red meat for fish, poultry, or eggs can cut kidney failure risk by up to 62%. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because there's another everyday habit hiding in your pantry right now, and its impact on your kidneys is far more widespread than most people realize. If red meat launches a full attack, then canned foods are the quiet landmines sitting right inside your pantry, harmless on the outside, destructive on the inside. Most people reach for canned soups, canned beans, or canned vegetables because they're quick, comforting, and marketed as healthy choices for busy adults. But for aging kidneys, every spoonful can unleash a wave of sodium the body simply cannot handle anymore. Maria, 72, learned this the hard way. She loved her canned chicken noodle soup. It felt light, warm, and safe. "It's just soup," she told me. "How bad can it be?" Yet her legs began to swell, her blood pressure climbed, and her creatinine inched higher every visit. When we analyzed her diet, the truth hit her like a shock. She was consuming over 3,000 milligrams of sodium a day, nearly all from canned foods she thought were protecting her. And science backs her experience. A major 2024 meta-analysis revealed that people who consumed the highest amounts of ultra-processed foods, including canned meals, had a 25% higher risk of developing chronic kidney disease. Even a 10% increase in processed food intake caused kidney function to drop another 7%, like dimming a light one level at a time. The kidneys simply cannot survive under that constant pressure. But the solution is surprisingly simple. Choose low sodium labels, aim for under 100 milligrams per serving when possible. Rinse canned vegetables and beans under water, and prioritize homemade soups with real ingredients. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because the next healthy category is the most shocking of all. These foods look vibrant, natural, and nutritious, yet they can push your potassium levels into the danger zone before you even realize what's happening. And if canned foods are the silent landmines, then high potassium fruits and vegetables are the beautifully decorated traps, the ones that look the healthiest, feel the safest, and yet can push your kidneys into crisis without a single warning sign. Bananas, avocados, potatoes, tomatoes, even that green detox smoothie everyone swears by. They're packed with nutrients, yes, but also with potassium levels that aging kidneys can no longer clear efficiently. George, 69, a retired math teacher, learned this in the most unexpected way. He had switched to what he proudly called the cleanest diet of my life. Every morning he blended a smoothie with banana, spinach, avocado, and almond milk. It looked like wellness. It tasted like discipline. But when his lab results came in, his potassium was at 6.1, a dangerously high level that could trigger fatal heart rhythm changes in minutes. He stared at the report stunned. Dr. Hale, I thought I was doing everything right. And this is where the science becomes crucial. When kidney function weakens, potassium doesn't leave the bloodstream the way it used to. It builds slowly and silently. Global kidney experts, including KDIGO, warn that patients with advanced CKD must keep potassium between 2 to 4 grams per day. Yet one avocado can contain nearly a full gram. One potato about the same. 2 healthy foods and the entire day's safe limit is gone. The solution isn't fear, it's strategy. Swap high potassium fruits for apples, blueberries, grapes, or pineapple. Use leaching techniques on vegetables. And always track your labs with your doctor. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because now that we've uncovered the 5 hidden threats, it's time to reveal the heroes, the 4 powerful foods that can help lower creatinine and support your kidneys naturally. Now that we've exposed the 5 hidden threats, let's turn to the unexpected heroes, and the first one might surprise you. Chili. Yes, that tiny red flame sitting quietly in your kitchen, the same one many seniors avoid because they worry it's too spicy, can actually help calm inflammation deep inside the kidneys. Not many foods carry this dual identity: heat on the tongue, healing in the body. One of my patients, Evelyn, 70, discovered this by accident. She had always avoided spicy food, believing it would upset her stomach. But during a family dinner, she tried a homemade chili dish. Over the next few weeks, she noticed something subtle. Her energy improved, her bloating decreased, and her labs stabilized for the first time in months. She asked me, half joking, Dr. Hale, was it the chili? And surprisingly, science says yes. The secret lies in capsaicin, the compound that gives chili its signature kick. Capsaicin triggers anti-inflammatory pathways, improves circulation, and may help the kidneys filter waste more efficiently. A 2019 study following over 400 adults in China found that those who ate small amounts of chili daily had an 18% lower risk of chronic kidney disease. Higher intake dropped the risk by nearly 49%. That's not a supplement, not a gimmick, just natural food doing what medicine sometimes can't. The beauty of chili is that you don't need much. Half a cup of chopped chili peppers a day, or even a sprinkle in soups or stir-fries, is enough to activate its benefits without overwhelming your stomach. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because the next kidney healing food works in the exact opposite way, not fiery and bold, but soft, pale, and quietly powerful. If chili is the fiery protector, then cauliflower is the quiet guardian, humble, pale, and easy to overlook, yet one of the most kidney-friendly foods you can place on your plate. It doesn't shout for attention the way superfoods often do. It doesn't come with bold colors or exotic claims. But for aging kidneys, cauliflower delivers something far more valuable: relief. Linda, 68, once told me she missed mashed potatoes more than anything else. It sounds silly, Dr. Hale, she laughed, but comfort food feels like home. Her potassium levels were creeping too high, and she thought she'd have to give up those warm, familiar meals forever. I suggested she try mashed cauliflower instead, just once. The next week she returned with a smile and said, "It tastes like peace." And she was right. Cauliflower's strength lies in what it doesn't contain. Extremely low in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium, it asks nothing extra from the kidneys. Compare that to half a cup of mashed potatoes with around 260 milligrams of potassium. Cauliflower has only about 93 milligrams. That's a 64% reduction in kidney strain from one simple swap. And beyond its mineral profile, cauliflower is rich in vitamin C and antioxidants that help reduce inflammation, support immunity, and ease the metabolic burden aging kidneys face daily. Its versatility makes it even more powerful. Steam it, roast it, mash it, blend it into soups, or pulse it into rice. Cauliflower adapts to your comfort, not the other way around. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because the next kidney healing food doesn't whisper. It bursts with color, sweetness, and antioxidants, powerful enough to calm inflammation throughout the entire body. If cauliflower is the quiet guardian, then berries are the dazzling healers, small, bright, and bursting with the kind of natural power your kidneys desperately need. They're proof that healing doesn't have to taste bland or boring. Sometimes it tastes sweet, refreshing, and full of life. Evelyn, 70. A gentle woman with a warm laugh once told me she felt old on the inside. Her energy was low, her inflammation markers were high, and every step felt heavier than it should. When I asked her what colors she ate each day, she smiled shyly and said mostly beige, oatmeal toast turkey. So we made one small change, a handful of blueberries and strawberries every morning. 3 months later, she looked brighter, lighter, and years younger. Dr. Hale, she said, who knew something so small could make such a difference? But science knew. Berries, especially blueberries, strawberries, and cranberries, are loaded with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation throughout the body. A 2021 meta-analysis combining results from 44 clinical trials showed that anthocyanin-rich berries significantly lowered CRP, one of the strongest indicators of inflammation and kidney stress. Unlike many fruits, berries are naturally low in potassium, just 57 milligrams per half cup, making them a safe and delicious option for people with declining kidney function. You can enjoy them fresh or frozen, blended into smoothies, added to yogurt, or eaten by the handful. Just avoid juices or dried berries, which concentrate sugar and strip away much of their healing potential. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because the final kidney healing food doesn't just help your kidneys, it strengthens your heart, lowers inflammation, and may even stabilize your creatinine more effectively than many lifestyle changes people try. If berries are the vibrant healers, then extra virgin olive oil is the golden anchor, the quiet force that holds everything together. It doesn't flash with color, and it doesn't overwhelm your plate. Instead, it slips into your diet with a kind of gentle power that supports not only your kidneys, but also your heart, your blood vessels, and your long-term inflammation levels. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are the simplest ones. Arthur, 71, was a perfect example. He came to me with rising cholesterol, creeping creatinine, and inflammation markers that refused to settle down. Dr. Hale, he said with a half-guilty smile, I've improved almost everything except butter. It was his last comfort, his last holdout. But I asked him to make one small swap, replace every spoon of butter or vegetable oil with a drizzle of pure extra virgin olive oil. Nothing extreme, no supplements, no complicated rules. 3 months later, the transformation was undeniable. His cholesterol dropped, his inflammation eased, his kidney numbers finally stabilized after years of decline. He looked at me almost stunned. All from oil. Yes, but not just any oil. Extra virgin olive oil contains a compound called oleocanthal, a natural anti-inflammatory molecule that behaves similarly to ibuprofen, but without the kidney-damaging risks. A 2021 study following chronic kidney disease patients who consumed 40 milliliters of Evo daily for 9 weeks found significant improvements in eGFR, lower inflammation, and healthier lipid levels. It's rare to find a single food that benefits kidneys and heart so directly. A tablespoon, a day drizzled over vegetable salads or warm meals, is enough to create measurable change. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because once all 9 truths are uncovered, the real turning point comes in how you put them together. And that final lesson matters more than anything you've heard so far. You've just walked through 9 powerful truths, the hidden dangers that quietly raise creatinine, and the 4 natural protectors that can help your kidneys heal. And if you're still here with me, that tells me something important. You're not someone who gives up. You're someone who wants to understand your body, protect your future, and take meaningful steps toward better health. That alone is a strength many people underestimate. But knowledge only becomes transformation when you act on it. And the good news is, you don't need perfection. You don't need a complete lifestyle overhaul. You just need small, steady decisions, choosing the foods that love your kidneys, back drinking enough water, managing stress, moving your body a little each day, and paying attention to the quiet signals your body sends. These simple choices, repeated over time, can shift your entire health trajectory. Before you leave, I want you to do something for yourself. Save this video. Truly save it. Come back to it when you plan your meals, when you review your labs, or when you feel overwhelmed. Let this be a guide you can return to anytime you need clarity or reassurance. And if you found value here, subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications. I share new medical insights every week, practical, science-backed strategies to help you protect your kidneys, your heart, and your long-term well-being. And here's the message I want to leave you with. Your kidneys are not failing you. They're asking for your care. And the moment you start listening, everything begins to change. Healing isn't instant, but it's possible. Progress may be quiet, but it's real. And no matter where you are in your journey, there is always a path forward. I'm Dr. Richard Hale. Thank you for watching, for caring, and for believing in your ability to take control of your own health. Stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video.